Welcome back to your favorite channel, guys. My name is Juliuz. Today we are watching This is how I lost $450,000 in one day. This video is from Alex and I really want to find out how you can lose $450,000 in one day. Basically, are those trading losses or opportunity costs where he basically wasn't able to enter a trade? I don't know. So let's find out. You guys leave a sub and a like real quick and now enjoy the video.
What's up, everyone? Back here for another video. If this is your first time on the channel, hi, my name is Temiz. I'm a day trader for
Hello, Alex. This is my first time on the channel.
over 12 years, and I made over $16 million in verified trading profits. And I know you may be thinking,
Crazy. Maybe we found really profitable, good trading influencer who's like showing his real authentic results. That would be like a really good catch.
why am I even making these videos if I made so much money? Well, I bought every single watch I wanted, every single car I wanted, my dream house, and now I'm seeking fulfillment from things that are outside of material items by giving back to the community and making these videos. So in today's video, we're going to talk about a topic that I think that many people.
And on the other hand, if somebody says, okay, I have a lot of trading knowledge, I want to give you the trading knowledge, but I want to get a little bit money back, so you have to pay for the trading knowledge, I think this is totally all right. And if you want to learn from somebody exactly what he's doing, then maybe you have to pay something, okay? So this is nothing he has to be ashamed of.
Don't talk about, which is how your biggest losses actually happen after your biggest wins and how to fix that. So as many people know, back in 2023, I wanted to challenge myself to see how far I could grow a $35,000 account. My goal was to grow it to $1 million by the end of the year. And what ended up happening is I hit some of the strongest market
to $1 million in 1 year, a $35,000 trading account. Guys, wow, this is incredible. Is that even remotely rational in a sense of risk taking? I don't know. This seems like you're gonna risk your whole account in every trade.
action that I remember. We had
Realized $184,000. Crazy, biggest day, one day. Wow, this is actually, those are crazy results here. Maybe this is really a lucky find, this channel.
Bed Bath & Beyond, GameStop, AMC, and all of these crazy things. And I grew my $35,000 account into $1 million in 55 days.
What? What? Is he trading stocks? He was talking about GameStop and AMC, so those are stocks. He turned a $35,000 account into $1 million in 55 days. Are you kidding me? Why isn't he like known as the best trader ever? Can that be right, guys? Can that be right? Write down in the comments if you know something about this, please.
I have a spreadsheet of all the trades and stuff, which I'll put
1,000, 12,000, every day. Every day, look at those results. Not a single losing day. Maybe break even one, but okay.
here for you guys to see, and
Start profit.
I'll put it in the description as well. I kind of documented the entire journey.
Is he hiding his losses? Or does he really make zero on his worst days?
And the reason why I'm saying this is because that was probably the best and biggest hot streak that I ever had in terms of P&L exponential growth.
Like, don't get me wrong, I want to believe him, but don't be mad at me if I'm a little skeptical first, because in like 1.5 months, not even 2 months, he's turning $35,000 into 1 million. What the heck?
Now, why is this important? Because directly after that is when I had my largest loss ever of losing $450,000.
Okay, $450,000 in one day. Okay, two things. I have several thoughts in my mind. Okay, first of all, I clicked on the video because I thought $450,000 loss in one day is like unbelievable and unrealistic. But now I'm actually a little more amazed that he made $1 million in less than 2 months. Okay, like that. This is a thing where I'm like, this can't be real. And I'm not too surprised that if somebody who has this big of a financial gain in a short amount of time risks a lot, so there might be a chance to lose everything or half of it in one day. Okay, because obviously he has to take very big risks. There is no other choice, guys. You cannot make big money without risking big. It just not working, okay? Either you're risking your capital or you're risking your unrealized profits by adding and adding and adding and worsening your entry price every time, but you will risk a lot in order to make a lot every time.
Dollars on TOP. Back during that time, there were a lot of these Chinese,
and of course a $450,000 loss in one day compared to a $1 million gain in 2 months puts it a little into perspective, okay? So that shows us that his system or his way of trading might be not sustainable with those big risks.
liquidation plays. These were stocks that would push up, $1, $10, $20, $30, and then one day they would go down 99% and close at like $1. And during that time, there was probably like one every 2 weeks. And I would just watch it and miss it and miss it and miss it and miss it. And I was like, dude, like the next one that comes, I'm gonna attack it. I'm gonna go as big as I can and I'm gonna nail it. Normally, I like to
okay, he want to short those stocks to lose 99% in one day.
Wire out of my account. Every week, every month, I like to take some chips off the table, put it in my bank account, because I've found that personally for me trading, the more money that I have in my trading account actually yields to less profits. The reason why is because I start to get loose with risk, right? So I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a $100,000 account. If you lose like $20,000 or $30,000, you're like, dude, that's pretty freaking bad. But if you have $1 million account, you could lose 20, 30,000, go to 50, go to 60, go to 100, and then the losses, just for me personally, they exponentially grow. So I personally
okay, this is of course only if you look at the numbers in an absolute amount, in a dollar amount. Usually us traders look at money in percentage, and then $30,000 are 30% of 100K and only 3% of a million. So basically it depends on how big your risk percentage is, I'd say. If he's looking at only absolute amounts, then of course this is something different.
Don't like having a larger account because I start to get way more loose with risk. I find that the smaller my account is relative, to what I'm looking for, then I find that I get more tight with risk versus more loose with risk. Number two is wiring out. Putting money into my bank account also builds a nest egg for me. It makes me feel like I don't need to trade to make money because I have a safety net. The biggest problem that I see with traders is that they are trading because they need the money. I got bills to pay. My girlfriend wants a new bag. I want to get a nice new BMW and I want a new Rolex, right? They're like, let me push until I get there. And it ends up happening is you get slapped in the face. What I think is important to remember is like having, for me, that safety net in my bank account gave me the ability mentally to rewire my brain to say that I should only be taking the highest probability trades and the highest probability setup.
It's always a good idea to have just a little fraction of your actually available trading money in your trading account so that you really are able to use all of the money you have in your trading account. And if you have a really, really bad day where you lose your whole account, in theory, this was still a fraction of your actual trading capital because the rest is in your safe bank account. So this is an aspect why it really might make sense to do that. Otherwise, of course, if you say, I really am a disciplined trader, I'm only going to risk 1 or 2% of my trading account, then you can also have a little bit more on your broker's account.
Because I don't really need to focus on the money. And again, I'm not saying have $1 million in your bank account. I'm not saying have $100,000 in your bank account, but even having an extra 5, 10 grand in there from your trading profits. So you feel like, God forbid, if something happens, I could either
and withdrawing more or less the same amount of money from your trading account to your personal bank account every month is always a good idea, because that makes it a job that is well paid. That makes it a real profession, a real job. Because in your job, you get paid no matter what. And the same should be true if you want to make trading a real profession. Because then it doesn't matter if you have a winning or losing month, you get paid the same amount. Of course, it only works if your trading account is big enough and you can really, let's say you're withdrawing $2,000 or $3,000 every month from your trading account, no matter if you made $5,000 or lost $5,000, okay? That makes it a real job.
My account, if there's an emergency that happens, I don't need to trade to kind of make back the money. So for me, wiring out has always been super, super essential to my trading psychology of making sure that, I kind of keep my mind together, because at the end of the day, trading is not
I actually like his trading setup a lot. Those vertical monitors look really, really good. And obviously he's like looking at different stocks here, so that makes sense for him. When I'm trading, I'm looking mostly just at one market, so I don't need too many little screens here, 1 or 2 screens, maybe on different time frames, but one market is enough for me.
A physical sport, trading is a mental sport, and you have to rewire your brain. So going back to the story is I was on the biggest hot streak ever, turning 35K into $1 million in 55 days. And guess what I did? I didn't wire out once. So here comes the guy that is always preaching out about wiring out.
Yeah, but this was like a challenge, wasn't it? He wanted to make the $1 million as fast as possible, and of course he's not wiring out.
Is always preaching that the larger account that I have, the more loose I get with risk. So what was happening is I was mentally in a place where I was trading to catch the whale, right? It's like Moby Dick. And Moby Dick for me was nailing one of these Chinese liquidation plays with size. So I was like, dude, this is perfect. Now, look at me. I got a $1 million account right now. I didn't wire anything out. The next Chinese play that comes, I'm going to attack it. I'm going to attack it hard, and it turned out to be TOP. So what happened on TOP? Usually the pattern for these liquidation plays is usually after the first halt down, the first limit down, that usually signals the top, and it just waterfalls for the rest of the day. So what happened on top? TOP started pushing up, Chinese play, Chinese liquidation play. It had its first halt down, sized up.
Look at this stock. It's like rising and rising and rising in 1 minute chart.
Full size, baby. And I was like, okay, halted down. Now it's gonna open up a couple dollars lower, and then it's just gonna wash out all day, and I'm probably gonna make $1 million just on this trade.
All right.
I made $1 million in 55 days. Let me make $1 million in 1 day, mofos. So what happened? Instead of gapping down and washing out, it held. And it started to make a new high of the day. That was not the pattern. It was supposed to halt down and continue to wash out. So what happened? It trapped. So normally what I should have done is when the thesis was no longer valid,
immediately cut your losses and end the trading day.
I should have gotten out. So that's another thing that's really important here. So get your notepad, your paper, your pencil. Is your stop out on a stock should be where the thesis is no longer valid.
Of course, that is like 101 trading stuff. As soon as your trading idea is no longer valid because the market did something else that was not in your perfect execution plan, then immediately get out.
What does that mean? So if you're shorting a death candle and it reclaims that death candle, your thesis is no longer valid. If you're buying for a VWAP reclaim long and the stock breaks low of the day, your thesis is no longer valid. You got to get out. So for me, if my thesis on TOP was after the halt down, that it should have continued to wash out like the other 10 or 20 of these Chinese liquidation plays did, and it didn't, I should have gotten out. So it broke high of the day, and instead of getting out, I just stayed in there, pushed up even higher. And then it halts.
Yeah, of course, it's mentally hard to cope with something when you are so sure that the result will be something completely different. Then it's really hard to accept that you are wrong. And he was like so sure that he saw this pattern 1,000 times. He was so sure that this stock will completely fall all the way down. And then something different happens. It's really hard to accept that you are wrong and immediately cut your losses. You will try again and again. I have to be right. I saw this 1,000 times. I have to be right. And this is the moment where disaster starts.
Down again, right? And at this point, I'm like, okay, this is the one, right? This is the one. It's gonna halt down and it's gonna continue to wash out. I'm gonna short it again. I'm gonna add even more. I'm gonna find some extra size out of my back pocket. I'm gonna go into leverage and I'm gonna start using leverage to short more. Halts down, it opens up, now it starts consolidating. So for the second time, it didn't do what it should have done. It should have halted down, continued to wash out like all the other ones. Instead, it halted down and consolidated. So what do you think I did during that consolidation? Oh, Alex, you probably got out, right? And I started using even more leverage.
Yeah, okay.
And even more margin and started adding to a loser aggressively. And at this point, dude, I was doomed. So probably the first halt down was around like 12 bucks. And then it reclaimed 12 bucks and then went to like $15. And then it came to $15 and consolidated around like 13, 14 for hours. And what did I do? I just kept adding to the loser, adding to the loser, adding to the loser, adding to the loser.
Yeah, guys, that happens to everybody, I think, but not in this amounts of money. Not with $1 million, not with $500,000. This might happen to you where you add to your loser, and might blow your, I don't know, $5,000 account. Maybe a little worse. But this is completely something else, okay? If you are trading with those big numbers, you might say, okay, he knows what he has to do. He won't make those beginner mistakes. But look at that. He's trading $1 million and he still makes those beginner mistakes as you or I did.
Before I knew it, I was in more size on that losing position than I have ever been in any winning position multiple fold. I still hate talking about it. What ended up happening? So I had multiple times to get out. I could have gotten out on the first reclaim of high of the day. I didn't. I could have gotten out on the second reclaim of high of the day. I didn't. I could have gotten out on the consolidation, realizing that it wasn't breaking down. I didn't. I prayed and prayed and prayed, and I said, please God, let this thing go down. I'll go to church. I'll be a better Christian.
We all have been at this point, I think, where we're just sitting there hoping and praying, okay, oh my God, if this position turns into green, I will do everything different tomorrow. We all have been there. If you haven't been at this point while trading, chances are there are two options. You will get to this point still in the future, which I do not hope so. Or second, you're just a really, really hardwired person who is different from us, who hasn't got these flaws. Then you call yourself lucky.
I'll, buy my girlfriend something. I'll call my mom. I'll tell her I love her. Just make it go down. You know what happened?
I know it. I know it.
The last 5 minutes of the day, it halted up. And at this point, I'm in the most size that I've ever been, in the most emotional state that I've ever been, in the biggest losing trade of my entire life.
I can't even imagine losing $450,000. I mean, those numbers are always getting bigger. Last time I think we reacted to Ross Cameron, he lost 100-something thousand. I thought, okay, it can't be worse. Now this guy is losing $450,000. I cannot imagine. Guys, what are those numbers? I don't even know what I would do. I wouldn't be able to record this video. Okay, he's like talking about 2023. Maybe it took him 3 years to really be able to talk about this, because I cannot imagine. I would be down for months. Had to go to therapy. I don't know. This is like unimaginable.
And now it halted up into the close. And when it opens up in after hours, there's going to be no liquidity for me to be able to get out. And
oh, okay. Now this is another problem. He only could get out after hours, and there's not enough liquidity for his incredibly big position. So he would push the market higher on his own.
I'm going to be destroyed. Stock halts. After hours, it opens up 18, 19, 20, 21 in seconds. 22, 23, 24. Started getting out 24, 25, 26. Get out more, 27. Get out 30. By the time it hits 32, I'm all out. Losing 450K.
Yeah, he had to push the market higher himself, because there was nobody who was buying from him.
Next morning, it hit 300. I probably lost 10 million. You would have never heard from me again. I would have been owing my broker money. I'd be washing dishes in the back and maybe going back to Starbucks. Why did this happen? It happened because I was coming off the biggest win streak of my entire trading career. $1 million in 55 days.
Probably because he just made the money too fast with too much risk, and now he got reckless.
I deviated from my process. I didn't stop out. I added to a loser. I got stubborn. I ignored risk. Anytime you start praying, that's probably your signal that you should probably get out of the stock. That was probably the biggest loss.
That was the best sentence today. As soon as you start praying, close everything and just go out, because then you're done. I think that's so true. Wow, I love this quote. I need to print it and put it on my wall. As soon as you start praying, get the fuck out.
Loss I ever had. I spoke about this in a previous video, but I'll just reference it again just in case you guys didn't watch that previous video. But what did I do to overcome that loss? So the first things first is I came back the next day and I tried to bully the next round of stocks. I used what I call bully size. I tried bullying these stocks to try to make it back. And I remember making back like 80 grand the next day. And I'm like, dude, sick. Just give me 3-4 more days. I'm going to make back the entire loss. And the day after that, I lost 100 grand. And I was like, dude. Now I'm an even bigger drawdown, right? So at that point, I had to pull the brakes and say, you know what? Instead of trying to bully these stocks to make it back, I got to get back to basics. I had to size down, Yeah,
that definitely makes sense. I think we can stop here. We heard how he lost the big money. I do not want to watch the whole video, because you should definitely make sure to watch the rest of it to learn something. I will immediately leave a like and a sub because I really enjoyed the video. I love his way of communicating. I think this is a really lucky find that this video got recommended to me. Thank you guys for watching. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully we can react to some more videos by Alex. And thank you guys for watching. You can also leave a sub on my channel. Thank you for your support. We're gonna see us in the next episode. Take care of yourself, guys. Have a nice rest of the week. Bye bye.